Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the first elementary grade. Our textbook is Weekend 1 and today inshallah we will cover Unit 3, Feelings and Things, Phonics on page 25. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazana Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Fawaz Al-Aqil. So let's begin. Quick revision in our last lesson. In our last lesson, we did listen to different sounds and also we pointed at each of these different sounds and even we did say them again. So what we're going to do today is that we're going to review all of these sounds and also we're going to practice how we say these different sounds and also to memorize words with each of these sounds. So just to remind ourselves of these sounds, let's first read here this sound, listen to it, and then we're going to point at each one and then say them again. So let's start with our first sound. Our first sound that starts with B and it says B, bear. Bear. The other sound is P, pear, pear. So here we have two different sounds. The first one starts with B. B says B, bear, bear. And the other sound, P says P, pear, pear. So this is regarding the first two sounds. Now let's move on to the other two sounds we have. The first one starts with V and V says van, van. And F says fan, fan. So here we have V, van, van. And F, fan, fan. So now even we know that these letters or these sound may sound similar, but when we pronounce them they will make a big difference, because here when we use the word or when we say the word bear, we have to make the exact sound, because bear and pear, they have different meaning. The first one, we're talking about an animal. And the second one, we're talking about a fruit. So there is a difference between, and it is very important that we speak or we say the exact sound. The same goes here. Here when we use van and when we use fan, these are two different things. The first thing, we're talking about a car, and the second thing, we're talking about an appliance. So these are two important that we recognize and differentiate between sounds, even if they sound similar, even if these sound similar. So let's practice them one more time. So here we have B, bear, bear, and P, pear, pear. V, van, van. And F, fan, fan. Very good. So now, not only this, but also we have four different sounds that we did practice last time. So let's remind ourselves of these sounds. So the first sound we have is from two letters, S and H. And we pronounce S and H like sh, the sh sound. So let's say them again. S and H says sh, ships, ships. And C and H, we pronounce C and H as ch sound. So C and H says ch, chips, chips. So here we have the first sound, S and H, ships, shibs, and shibs. And also here we have chips, chips. The other two sounds we have, they have the same two letters. They have the same letters, but they are pronounced differently. As for the first one, we pronounce T and H as this, this. And also the other sound with T and H, which is three, three. So here we have the first sound is this, this, and the other sound is three, three. So here is also another important thing that we need to pay attention to. We said previously that even if these sounds or even if these letters have mostly the same sound or similar sounds, it is important that we pay attention to the sounds we are producing because it will make difference in meaning. The same goes here. Even, we're not talking here about one letter, but we're talking about two letters, S and H, and C and H, and also T and H. Sometimes we have words that may have the same letters or similar letters like S and C, and sometimes we will come across words or letters that have or sounds that have the same letter. So the same letter. So here it is important that we can differentiate. We can know the differences between each of these sounds, so we can pronounce the exact or pronounce the right sound when we are reading or listening to these sounds. So let's practice them one more time. So S and H says shibs, shibs. And C and H says chips, chips. And here we have T and H says this, this. And also the other T and H says three, three. So just to make or to clarify this one, we also have different words with the and th sound. For example, with the, we have words like this, these, those, that. Also, with the other sound that starts with three, the sound of th, we have a word like things, things, three, and all of these words have the same sound. So it is important that we pay attention to them. And after this, we said that we sometimes come across these sounds or these letters like A and I and also O and U. And we said that if we come across words that ends with E, we usually pronounce the letters a bit longer. We usually pronounce these letters a bit longer. For example, here we have the first word is tab, tab. And if we add E at the end of the word, then it will be, or it sounds like tabe, tabe. You see how we pronounce A, tabe. The same goes here. Here we have the letter I. If we read it alone, this word will sound like pen, pen. But if we added the letter E at the end of the word, then you will hear the sound of I, like pine, pine. You see, this is another important thing we learn, which is that sometimes if we add E at the end of the word, then the vowel will be pronounced a bit longer, will be pronounced a bit longer. As we said, here we have tab, tabe, tab, tape. Here we increase the letter A. And the same goes here. Here we have pin, pine, pin, pine. You see how we pronounce the letter I? We pronounce it a bit longer. The same goes here with letter O and letter U. With letter O, we said top, top. And when we added E, we said robe, robe. You see how the letter O is more clear here? Robe, top, robe. And the same goes for the other vowel, which is U. Here we pronounce U as cup, cup. But because with the other word, because we added E at the end, then we'll pronounce the letter U a bit longer. This word will be cube, cube. And you can listen to the letter U with this word. So let's practice it one more time. Top, robe, top, robe. And with U, we have cup, cube, cup, cube. Very well. And after this, the last thing we did last lesson is that we did listen to 6 different words, and we said that we need to decide whether these words are long, has long sounds, or short sounds. So let's now try to listen one more time to these sounds and put a check mark in front of each word. So let's start now to read the first one. The first word we have is ship, ship. So what do you think? Does ship has short sound or long sound? It is, of course, has a short sound, ship. So here we put a check mark in the cell. Now let's listen to the other word. The other word is sheep, sheep. So does sheep has long or short sound? It has, of course, short sound or long sound. So here we put a check mark. So let's listen to the next one. The next word is sea, sea. So what do you think? Does sea has long or short sound? It has, of course, long sound. So here we put a check mark, sea. And what about the next one? Sit, sit. Is it long or short? It is, of course, short sound. And next we have speak, speak. Speak is a long sound. And finally, weak, weak. And weak also long sound. So now let's get to know our objectives in today's lesson. At the end of our lesson today, we hope that you will be able to practice words with all of these sets of letters, and also to recognize and match sounds to each of these letters. And to do this, I would like you please to open your books on page 25. I would like you please to open on page 25. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to listen to the different sounds, and after we listen to the different sound, we're going to put a check about the letter of the sound, whether it started with B or P, V or F, and let's start with the first one. So let's listen to the first word. The first word is ball, ball. Number 1 is ball. So what do you think? Does ball starts with B or P? Of course, it starts with B. So here we put a check mark. Let's listen to number 2. Puppet, puppet. So what do you think? Puppet, of course, it starts with letter P. Puppet. And number 3, vase, vase. So what do you think? V or F? It starts with V. And how about number 4? Face, face. So is it V or F? It is, of course, starts with F. So here you go. These are our answers for the first 4 sounds. Now let's listen to more sounds. Number 5. Number 5 is ship. Ship. Ship starts with, very well, S and H. What about number 6? Cheese. Cheese. Cheese also starts with ch sound, which is C and H. Now let's move on to number 7. This. And this, as we have from the previous book, the first sound represents the sound. So here we choose the first one. And what about number 8? 3. 3 goes with the second sound of T and H. Now, the last thing we will do is that we're going to listen and we circle the words that we listen to. So let's start. Number 1, the first word is tab. Tab. So, tab is the first one. It is a short sound that has A in the middle. Number 2, vase. Vase. Vase also the second sound. Vase. Number 3, ring. Ring. Ring also the second sound we have. And number 4, pine. Pine. Pine also the second sound. So here we have number 5, cube. Cube. Cube is the first sound. And next we have cute. Cute. Cute also the second sound. And finally number 7, robe. Robe. Robe also the first sound. So here you go. We did listen and we did circle the words that we listened to that we also already practiced. So at the end, it is important that you can recognize and say the words with these letters and also to recognize and match each of these sounds to the letters. So now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.